From the Mount Clemens Racetrack, the fifth turn, this week in auto racing. Brought to you by the Mount Clemens Racetrack, Michigan's premier short track. Stan Yee's Collision, the auto repair center specializing in unibody repair. Your host, Jim Brandstatter. Hi everyone, and welcome to the fifth turn, this week in auto racing. I'm Jim Brandstatter, and it's nice to have all of you along for our first show from here at the fifth turn. If you're wondering what we're all about, it's simple. We're about racing, and in particular, racing at Mount Clemens Racetrack. As many of you know, the Mount Clemens Racetrack is considered the premier short track in the state, and it's certainly one of the best in the Midwest. With that in mind, we felt it was high time we let people know about it. So Metro Video Productions, along with the track management, created the fifth turn. For 8 weeks, we will keep an eye on the racing story at Mount Clemens and across the nation. Not only will we have race highlights from heat races and the feature races at the Mount Clemens Racetrack, we will also have in-depth stories about the drivers, the heartbeat of auto racing. In addition, we'll keep you abreast of the point standings in each of the 5 divisions of cars that run at Mount Clemens. But that's not all. We will also take a look at some of the behind-the-scenes stories that make racing at Mount Clemens special. And we won't forget about the national angle either. Each week, we'll keep you on top of the point standings for the Winston Cup Series of NASCAR, the Kart Series standings for the open-wheeled Indy drivers, and seeing as how the Detroit area has gone international in its racing fever, we won't omit the Formula One Grand Prix report each and every week, and we'll pay special attention to Grand Prix 3 when the beautiful people and jet setters descend on Detroit for their annual battle in the streets of downtown later this month. All in all, we feel that the fifth turn is long overdue. With the support racing has gotten from the hardcore fan in Southeast Michigan, it's about time they got a quality racing program to keep them on top of what's happening in racing, and in particular, what's happening at Mount Clemens. And believe me, in 1984, there is plenty happening at the state's premier short track. From demolition derbies to ASA challenge races, to the ARCA Supercar Series, to the Stroh's North American Professional Driver Series, to a pair of Enduros, the Mount Clemens Racetrack is gearing up for its busiest and best season yet. We'll keep an eye on those special events for you as they come up. But for now, let's go racing. As we told you earlier, there are 5 divisions of cars that race at Mount Clemens Racetrack. Each division will crown a season champion at the end of the race year. And believe me, the competition this year should be tighter than ever. For an explanation of each of the 5 divisions, let's go to track promoter Cindy Winkler.
Largest of the cars as far as power and speed are our late model super stocks, and those cars range in power and price. They generally are around $40,000, and the experienced drivers, the more experienced drivers, are the ones who drive these cars. They run on our half-mile track, and they reach speeds in excess of 100 miles an hour as they're going through the straightaways. Our next division is our limited sportsman division, and they are a little more restricted as far as their power. Most of the drivers have proceeded up from the street stock division, the lower divisions, into this division, but they haven't quite gone into the super stock division. And these cars are the ones that run on the double O, so they take 1 lap on the half mile, 1 lap on the quarter mile for a very exciting race, particularly when they come to the crossroads. Our other division is the mini modified division, and this is a relatively new division. We've had them out here for about 3 years. And these cars are basically our 4-cylinder cars, and they're the Pintos and the Omnis and the smaller size cars that we feel are going to be more available in the next few years as far as picking up parts, used parts for these drivers to have. This division has come out of the east where they're very, very popular, and it's kind of moved into this area. So it's a growing division. And then our street stock and our powder puff division are the same cars, the same basic cars, and they are just with some safety modifications and very little specifications as far as the motor size and what they can do to it. And this is our beginning division where everyone starts out. Now there are people that have raced in this division for the past 15 years. We don't make them move up, but a lot of times the drivers do decide to move up. And of course the powder puff division is just for the women, and so the street stock division is exclusively for the men for this part.
In short track racing, as you all know, the action can come very fast and at any moment. Last Thursday in a Grand American heat race, the action came right at the first turn as soon as the green flag was waved. Take a look as things got a little bit hairy as cars got loose coming into turn 1.
Here they come. Patty Singo leads them around. The V6 powering machine of Dennis Menapetigan out front. Dennis spins up. The first car spins up. Keselowski into the fence. Cars all over the place. The caution flag is out. And it looks like we've got 2 cars that are stopped down there. Dennis Menapetigan in V6.
Let's take another look at the accident and watch the lead cars as they come into turn 1.
The V6 powered machine of Dennis Menapetigan out front. Dennis spins up. The first car spins up. Keselowski into the fence. Cars all over the place. The caution flag is out. And it looks like we've got 2 cars that are stopped down there. Dennis Menapetigan in V6.
Nobody was injured in the mishap, which is an example of the fine driving that goes on in Mount Clemens. Now let's go ahead and pick up the action later in this Grand American heat race.
Bumper to bumper battle for the lead. We're halfway home as Rick Shepard continues to lead Art Summers. Now Summers looks right at the tail of Rick Shepard. They move into turns 3 and 4, and Summers is looking on the low side, gets a little squirrely. Shepard and Summers running 1-2. Dick Barker and Chuck Rommel move in behind Joy Fair. Still bumper to bumper for the lead. Meanwhile, Rommel and Barker look for a way around the veteran Joy Fair. Down the back straightaway they go. The next time around they'll be given the white flag. That'll mean there's 1 lap to go. Can Art Summers pull this one off as they come around to take a white flag? 1 lap to go. There on the final lap, Chuck Rommel challenging Joy Fair. Meantime, back up front, can Rick Shepard hold off Art Summers? They're going to be coming for the checkered flag. 1. And Rick Shepard able to hold off everyone in that race. Rick Shepard holding off Art Summers to earn that win. Joy Fair finishing in 3rd. And here he comes to take the checkered flag in car 44 from Mount Clemens, Rick Shepard.
That's about as good an example as you can see about the tough competition we see each week at the Mount Clemens racetrack. Rick Shepard would not give up his first place position to Artie Summers for anything. Looking at the current point standings for the Grand American Division, you can see Artie Summers and Rick Shepard are still battling it out for first place. In 3rd place is Dick Barker. In 4th place is Chuck Rommel, who set last Thursday's fastest qualifying time at 21.28 seconds in the half mile. And in 5th place is Tracy Leslie. We will continue in the 5th turn with more racing action and maybe the most important guy on the track that's not in a car. Stay with us. When something like this happens by accident, come to Stan Yee's Collision for quality auto body repair and refinishing. Stan Yee's Collision will handle everything from the insurance claim to guaranteeing you 100% satisfaction on the repairs they do. Only the most advanced equipment is used, including the new bench fixture straightening system, especially useful for correcting damaged front-wheel drive unit body vehicles. When searching for an auto repair shop, look no further than Stan Yee's Collision.
The Mount Clemens Racetrack invites you to a summer of fun and excitement as it comes alive with the roaring engines and the fierce competition of stock car racing. Every Thursday and Saturday night at 7:30 p.m., Michigan's premier short track features racing from 5 championship divisions: the Grand American, Limited Sportsman, high-powered street stocks, mini modified, and the women's powder puffs. The green flag signals summer fun for everyone Thursday and Saturday nights at the Mount Clemens Racetrack, I-94 and the Mount Clemens exit.
Welcome back to the Fifth Turn and more race action and information. Let's take a look now at the Limited Sportsman Division point standings. It's a relatively new division at Mount Clemens Racetrack, but you can see by the point standings that everybody's awfully close 3 weeks into the season. The Street Stock Division is also very close this early in the year. Dave DeSmith, who is last year's season champ, is in 3rd place behind Tom Terzo and Truck Broder. Let's take a look at how Dave DeSmith did 2 weeks ago during a divisional heat race.
Here we go. 8-lap heat race, Pro Street Stock Division. Bob Van in the 8-ball car almost hung up with Al Hamilton. Now we got 3 on a turn. Little Baja trailing. There goes Steve Loria kicking up some dust, but he gets it back on the track. Dave DeSmith at 73 continues to lead. Towards the grandstand they come, completing lap number 2. It remains Dave DeSmith in car 73. Problems for car number 2, Jack Murray, but he gets it rolling once again. Dave DeSmith in car 73 continues to lead. Bob Van in 8-ball car second. Luther Anderson in 81 running 3rd. Al Hamilton is 4th in 61. And we're nearing the halfway point in the race. 4 laps in, 4 remain. Dave DeSmith has led right from the start. Bob Van is running 2nd in the 8-ball car. Five laps in for Dave DeSmith in car 73. Less than 3 to go. Tom Terzo in 67 leaves the track. Two laps to go, 6 in. Dave DeSmith still leading. Bob Van still in 2nd. Luther Anderson still in 3rd. White flag out, 1 lap to go. Dave DeSmith continues to lead. Out of the final turn they come. Here's the winner, Dave DeSmith in car 73. Here's the winner in car 73, Dave DeSmith.
Judging by that ride, it looks as though Dave DeSmith is well on his way to repeating as Street Stock Division champion that he won last year. And while it's hard to believe that Dave and those drivers can go that fast and still keep calm and cool while strapped into their racing machines, it's a simple fact that they must. Another guy who must stay in control is Vince Suker, and he doesn't even drive. He's the flag man at the Mount Clemens Racetrack, and without a doubt, he is the driver's best friend. It's Vince that keeps it all under control. And while most of us are only interested in the checkered flag, Vince has a stack full of flags next to him, and each one sends a special message to a driver hurtling past him at high speeds.
I'd like to take this opportunity to run through the flags here I use at Mount Clemens Racetrack. Probably the first flag you'll be seeing as a spectator or a driver will be the white flag. It seems strange that a lot of tracks don't display this one first, but I give this one to the drivers to give them the message that next time they come past me, they can anticipate getting the green flag. And we'll just set this off here to one side for a moment. Of course, the green flag, everybody knows what that means. That means the race has started, and as long as the green flag is displayed, the track is safe to run on, and the cars can just continue. On the next flag, one of which I prefer not to show, is the yellow flag. That means there's something on the track which creates a situation where the drivers have to drive cautiously. All drivers in the drivers' meeting are told to stay in their positions, don't pass nobody, don't let nobody pass you, until the track is safe to continue the racing event. The next flag, one I definitely do not like to show, but I have to once in a while, is the red flag. This flag is displayed when it's absolutely necessary not to continue the race any further. It could be an accident, a car rolled over, a fire, or the track is completely blocked. When this flag is displayed, the Grand Americans are told to come to the front stretch and stop. They can do no work at all on their cars. The hobby stocks have to stop immediately no matter where they're at on the racetrack surface. The next flag you will probably see, and one that's very little known about, is the blue one with the orange stripe in it. This is a courtesy flag. I display this to the slower drivers. It informs them to get out of the way of the faster cars. We have faster cars coming on the track, and it lets them know to get down out of the way. If they don't do this after 3 laps, then I magically transfer that flag into a black one. They're asked to leave the racetrack surface. The black flag is used for different occasions. Sometimes I'll get a call from the pits. A pit crew will request that their driver be black flagged for mechanical reasons. Other than that, I use it at my discretion. Rough driving, a car not moving over, or an unsafe car, or a car smoking excessively. Going back to the green and the white one again, as soon as the race is half over with, I notify the drivers by crossing the flags and displaying this to them. For those drivers who have lost track of the laps, it lets them know that the race is halfway over with. When there's only 1 lap to go and the drivers are on their last lap, I display a white flag once again. It lets them know they have 1 more lap to gain another position and the race is going to be over with. The flag that all the drivers like to see and be the first one to get is the checkered flag. Of course, we all understand the checkered flag signifies that the race is over with. Now, on the half-mile track, when the winner gets the checkered flag, and I have to bring the yellow out before all the other cars go across the start-finish line, the race is over with immediately. As soon as the winner takes the checkered flag, I have to bring the yellow out. We do not go back and rerun that last lap. The drivers are all notified of this in the pits.
Next week, we'll talk to Vince a little bit more in depth and find out about the man behind the flags, the man who really controls the races at the Mount Clemens Racetrack. The Mini Modified Division runs every Saturday night at the Mount Clemens Racetrack. Currently in first place is Bill Breen with 90 points. That's 48 points ahead of 5th place Rick Ferguson after only 3 weeks. In the Women's Powder Puff Division, Bonnie Randa is way ahead of the pack as points leader with 142 points. Last year's season champion, Judy Broder, is currently tied for 5th place with Karen Kiaski. Broder broke her wrist last week, and yet she's still racing. She's tough. She wants to repeat as season champion in the Powder Puff Division. Last Thursday, Bonnie Randa won the 12-lap feature, and let's take a look at how she did it.
Dawn Tosto leads the way in 75, running second. Connie Fowler's in 8. In car 73, Debbie Smith running in 3rd. Bonnie Randa 4th. They come down to complete lap number 1. Dawn Tosto out front. Bonnie Randa running second. Debbie Smith up to 3rd in 73. Dawn Tosto leading the way. Bonnie Randa, Debbie DeSmith. Running up now in the 4th position is Sharon Anderson in 81. We've got a challenge coming up for the lead. The battle's up front. Bonnie Randa on the outside and Dawn Tosto on the inside. Bonnie Randa on the outside. Down the back straightaway they go. Side by side for that number 1 spot. Here comes the battle for the lead. Bonnie Randa, the new race leader. Dawn Tosto back to 2nd. Debbie DeSmith still running 3rd. Sharon Anderson 4th. Kathy Tosto running 5th. Here comes Judy Broder. Next time around, we'll be halfway. And the flags are crossed. That tells the field they're halfway home. Bonnie Randa continues to lead. Look at this traffic. Look at this going into turn number 1, and the cars make contact. That's the division points leader in 068 tied up over there, and the defending track champion also involved. Morrell will be getting back to racing with Bonnie Randa showing the way in car 54. The green flag's out again. Bonnie Randa shows the way. Car 75. Dawn Tosto running in second. Debbie DeSmith in third. Sharon Anderson in 81 coming up. Michelle Morissette also on the move in car number 11. Bonnie Randa building up a huge lead over second place, but Debbie DeSmith trying to get by. Car 75 of Dawn Tosto. Debbie DeSmith on the move in car 73. Michelle Morissette in car number 11 are right there alongside Debbie DeSmith down the back straightaway. They're all bunched up for that second spot. This time around, Bonnie Randa will be getting the white flag, signifying 1 lap to go, but the battle's on for that second position. Bonnie Randa heading for that checkered flag, but keep your eyes on that battle for second between Debbie DeSmith and problems at turn 4. A spin out, everybody misses her. Wow, what a way to finish a night of racing. And as she comes around, she did a whale of a job out there. How about a nice round of applause for the winner of the Stroh's Powder Puff Division feature event in car 54, Bonnie Randa.
Coming up on the 5th turn, we'll bring you up to date on the national standings involving national drivers. We'll also have the defending champions from Mount Clemens, so don't miss it. Stay with us. When something like this happens by accident, come to Stan Yee's Collision for quality auto body repair and refinishing. Stan Yee's Collision will handle everything from the insurance claim to guaranteeing you 100% satisfaction on the repairs they do. Only the most advanced equipment is used, including the new bench fixture straightening system, especially useful for correcting damaged front-wheel drive unit body vehicles. When searching for an auto repair shop, look no further than Stan Yee's Collision.
Railroad crossing signals are designed to save lives. Understand this. A 40-ton locomotive traveling at just 30 miles per hour needs a half mile to stop. An automobile can stop a lot quicker. Each year, some 870 persons die nationwide in car-train accidents. 30 of those persons die in Michigan alone. Drivers must do their part. Look, listen, and live.
The Mount Clemens Racetrack invites you to a summer of fun and excitement as it comes alive with the roaring engines and the fierce competition of stock car racing. Every Thursday and Saturday night at 7:30 p.m., Michigan's premier short track features racing from 5 championship divisions: the Grand American, Limited Sportsman, High-Powered Street Stocks, Mini Modified, and the Women's Powder Puffs. The green flag signals summer fun for everyone Thursday and Saturday nights at the Mount Clemens Racetrack, I-94 and the Mount Clemens exit.
Back to the local level, we're really just beginning the season here at the Mount Clemens Racetrack, and we've got 5 defending champions in the 5 divisions out here. Only 4 of them are in their same divisions. One, Dick Myers, has left, but every one of them thinks that with the right things happening this year, they can certainly repeat. Dick Myers, defending champion in the mini modifieds. You're not even running those this year. What about this class out here at Mount Clemens?
Well, I think you're going to see one of the most competitive classes this year that we've had in years here at the Mount Clemens racetrack. A lot of different makes are running this year, and a lot of the drivers are very close as far as lap times, and the competition in the cars should be excellent.
It's always tough to repeat because you got new guys always coming up. Like this year, we already had a rookie set fast time opening day, so there's somebody moves up and another one takes his place. It's always tough.
Last year you won the series. Is it tougher to repeat, do you think?
Sure it is. Everybody out here runs hard. It's a hard track to win it at.
Do you think this year will be tougher for you then because people will be looking after you and shooting at you too?
It's just going to be tough all the time.
It doesn't matter one way or the other whether they're defending champion?
No, it's a hard track to run, and there's a lot of cars with potential to win. There's at least 6 cars can win it. Everybody should run real fast this year.
Talk to me a little bit about the competition in the Powder Puff division. Is it getting tougher?
Yeah, the Powder Puff this year is a lot tougher than last year. I'd say the top 5 girls this year will definitely keep up with the top 10 of the men, if not outdo them all like I did last year.
What about the competition? Is it tougher this year?
Oh yeah, it's going to get tougher. We got a few new cars. I'm sure it's going to be tougher. Ain't going to be no giveaway, that's for sure.
As you can tell by the comments of the defending champions, nobody is taking anything for granted, but as they say, that's racing. Checking out the national angle as far as racing is concerned, how about Cale Yarborough? Yarborough wins Pocono over the weekend, just saving enough gas to finish 4 seconds ahead of Harry Gant, but Darrell Waltrip remains in the lead for the point standings in the Winston Cup. He and Terry Labonte are running 1-2. Meanwhile, Richard Petty is looking for his 200th career win at NASCAR. That would be a milestone nobody would ever reach, and of course, he needs just one more trip to victory lane to get that done. The Formula One circuit, in the meantime, has their next race in Montreal, and then in 2 weeks, they will be in the streets of downtown Detroit for Grand Prix 3 down by the Renaissance Center. And for that matter, that's all we have time for here in the fifth turn for our first show. We'd like to thank you all for joining us, and we certainly hope you'll stay with us for the next 7 weeks, and we hope, of course, we see you at the track, too. The Grand Americans run at Mount Clemens every Thursday. The Midi Modifieds and the Limited Sportsmen gear up each and every Saturday night. Racing starts at 7:30. And don't forget Thursday, June 21st, when they'll be running the ARTCO ASA Challenge. We sure appreciate you joining us for our first night in the fifth turn this week in auto racing, and we hope you can continue to join us throughout the racing season as we keep track of the Mount Clemens racetrack. We keep track of racing all over the United States of America. Thanks for joining us. Until the next time at the track, safe driving. Be with us next week on The Fifth Turn, This Week in Auto Racing. Brought to you by the Mount Clemens Racetrack, Michigan's premier short track. Stan Yee's Collision, the auto body center specializing in unibody repair.